Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to lecturer, Professor Madya Dr. Salleh. My name is Arif Ashraf bin Abdul Razak from group number 2, and today I will explain on chapter 1 introduction and also chapter 2 the literature review part. So first and foremost, our group title is the application of transportation and MRP method in pharmaceutical industry. Industrial engineering is a branch of engineering where we solving problems and also making plans to make a better and more efficient industry, more efficient planning and production for the industry sector. So one of the biggest industry sector, actually nowadays is the most popular, is the pharmaceutical industry. Surely for the factor of the pandemic COVID-19 that hits around the globe, and the research to find the vaccine is also a trend nowadays. So this can be related into our group title project, which is the transportation and MRP method. This can be related by the transporting the vaccine into many countries, and also the MRP method where we want to find the items, the element that are needed for the production of the vaccine. So moving on for the problem statement, this project is to study and investigate and also understand the application of transportation and MRP method in pharmaceutical industry. It is the key in any industry to have a very important and efficient transportation method, so that the retailers can have their product in the inventory to make the selling, and more importantly for the company is that they need to ensure the transportation and MRP method used in correct and fully optimized way, so they are not over budgeting in this particular area. For the objective part, it can be divided into three main components. Firstly is to investigate the transportation method used in pharmaceutical industry. Secondly, to study the application used to optimize transportation in pharmaceutical industry. And lastly, to study and understand the MRP method in pharmaceutical industry. The scope for this project can be divided into two scopes. Firstly, the transportation optimization model by some company in pharmaceutical industry, and secondly, the MRP method used and applied in pharmaceutical industry. The chapter 2 literature review part, our group has read it and go through some papers that are related to transportation and also MRP method in the sector of industrial engineering, and we found out some papers, and I will explain one of the reading, which is titled "A Study on Application of Transportation Problem to Minimize Costs in Various Pharmacies." Fast forward, the conclusion of these papers found out that the transport different quantities of the same products to different destination will lead to minimal total transportation costs. I think that's all from me. My other group members will explain the other chapter. So that's all. Thank you.
A very good evening to Prof. Madya Dr. Salleh bin Ashish Ahmad. My name is Linesh Alchandran from Group 2. Today I will present about Chapter 3 and Chapter 5, which is Methodology and Discussion and Suggestion respectively. In Chapter 3, there are two types of data collection in our report, which is in our case study, are made, which are historical data method and analytical estimating method. Historical data is a collected data about the past events and circumstances pertaining to a particular subject, while analytical estimating method is a structured estimating technique often used in work measurements, in which a task is analyzed with respect to its basic components operation or elements. After the data collection process has been conducted, where the transportation method and the material requirement planning, which is short form as MRP, is being used in our case study.
My name is Muhammad Syarih Hakimin, fourth-year student from FKMP. Now it's my turn to present about the application of transportation method in pharmaceutical industry. A typical transport problem is a problem of distributing goods from producer to customer, with the cost of transport being minimal. The transport problem is an important part of the management of logistics. These are the tasks of optimizing the deployment of machines, warehouses, and power plants to achieve better economy of work and time. From the task given, we had select 2 pharmaceutical companies to make an analysis and comparison. Besides, we use the northwest angle rule, the Vogel approximation method, and the lowest cost method to find the optimal solution. Firstly, the northwest corner rule is a method adapted to compute the initial feasible solution of the transportation problem. The name northwest corner is given to this method because the basic variables are selected from the extreme left corner. Second, the least cost method is another method used to obtain the initial feasible solution for the transportation problem. Here, the allocation begins with the cell which has the minimum cost. The lower cost cells are chosen over the higher cost cell with the objective to have the least cost of transportation. Next, Vogel's approximation method tackles the problem of finding a good initial solution by taking into account the cost associated with each alternative route, which is something that Northwest Corner Rule did not do. Moving to the company we analyzed, the first company was Vinayaga Pharmacy. Vinayaga Pharmacy mainly sells 3 products, which is carton, syringe, and bandages, with a weekly turnover 43, 42, and 30. The following table shows the unit price of the drug. From the analysis, total transportation cost for Northwest Angle was $705, LCM method was $457, and the VAM method was $457. Second company we picked was Tulasi Pharmacy. Tulasi Pharmacy mainly sells 3 products, which is carton, syringe, and bandages, with a weekly sales capacity of 57, 70, and 62. The table below shows the unit cost of the drug. Same approach we take to make an analysis, which is Northwest Angle Rule, the Vogel approximation method, and the lowest cost method to find the optimal solution. From the analysis, we know that the total transportation method for Northwest Angle was $435, lowest cost method was $944, and Vogel approximation method was $944. The comparison between this transportation method, both companies will be presented by the next presenter. That's all from me. Thank you.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amirul Amin bin Abdul Razak, AD 170177. So today I'm going to talk about the result and the analysis for the MRP method in pharmaceutical industry. So from the analysis that has been made for the pharmaceutical industry, we can conclude that most of the item used in the store is the medicine. According to the data that we acquired for most of pharmacy have significant expense because the pharmacy needs to keep their product in a clean and safe condition under low temperature like an antibiotic. In addition, the store also have limited spaces. Due to this reason, material needs planning MRP is required to solve this problem. This method was used to control the entry of the medicine into the pharmacy. So as you can see in chapter 4, there are the data that we acquired from 8 weeks of from the pharmacy. So from table 10 in chapter 4, in week 3, the medicine needs to be ordered 2 weeks earlier in order to fulfill the requirement until the end of the week 8. This method can save many spaces in the pharmacy as it fulfills space requirement very efficiently. So, thank you.
Okay, now I will present about chapter 5, which is discussion and suggestion. As I mentioned earlier in chapter 3, there are 2 methods in our case study, which is MRP method and the transportation method. Now I'll discuss about the transportation method, which is okay. In this method, there are three types of method of transportation method, which is to calculate the shipping cost, which is northwest angle rule, which is NWCR. Second, the Vogel approximation method VM, and the lowest cost method LCM. So in our case study, there are two pharmacy, which is Vinayaga Pharmacy and Tulasi Pharmacy. The lowest shipping cost we obtained from the Vinayaga Pharmacy is $457, where two methods giving the same answer, which is lowest cost method and the Vogel approximation method. So we can either use one of the method to increase the effectiveness of the location transportation method. Meanwhile, the lowest shipping cost for Tulasi Pharmacies is $835, where the method gave the lowest cost was the northwest angle rule. This is because the lowest cost method is considered to produce more optimal result than the northwest angle rule, because it considered the shipping costs while making the allocation. Now I'll discuss about MRP in the discussion as my fellow friends did in chapter 4, where it states that in week 3 the medicine needs to be ordered within 2 weeks earlier in order to fulfill the requirement until the end of week 8. This method can save many spaces in the pharmacy as it fulfills the space requirements very efficiently. For the suggestion, as we suggested that they should make their arrangement products more structured in the store, so they can only store essential items and save costs and space in this way. Plus, it can improve their work efficiently. From there, in shorter period, we can generate a commodity and reduce their losses. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Ilyas bin Ismail, and I will present to Doctor about Chapter 6, which is Conclusion. The main objective for this project had been accomplished through this phase based on our knowledge and data analysis that we had analyzed, gathered and studied. From the knowledge that we have learned from the industrial engineering course, we can apply it to industries such as transportation method, which is one of the reasons for finding the lowest shipping cost for pharmaceutical industry. In addition, the MRP also used the calculate amount of medicines that need to produce in order to overcome any loss. The MRP method can save many space in pharmacy as it fulfills space requirement very efficiently. The arrangement of the product must be more organized in the store so that they can only store the important item and save cost and space in this way. Plus, it can increase their work performance. That's all from me. Thank you.